Hello everybody, welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today we're going to be going all the way back to deck number 4 for Avacyn Angel of Hope. Back then I had just started and didn't know what I was doing. Well, to be honest with you, I don't know what I'm doing now, but anyway, it was that old video was don't go back and watch it, it's terrible. Anyway, Avacyn Angel of Hope. I am in the process of converting all of the big, huge leather-bound decks, getting them out of the triple sleeve and into the, this normal size deck box there, so that they will fit on the deck wall. And as I'm doing that, kind of rebuilding, updating a little bit. There wasn't that many cards to update for this deck, but I did. Believe it or not, I didn't have a Rogue's Passage in here. But anyway, Avacyn Angel of Hope is wrongly named because there is absolutely no hope when this. They have got to kill you before you cast Avacyn. And I'm sure the members of my play group will vouch for this. Because I've got Avacyn, I have 20 mana rocks, and I have 30 blow up the world spells. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's probably the most degenerate Avacyn build I've ever seen. So let's get to it. First, we'll do our mana rocks, because first and foremost, we've got to get Avacyn out there. She's 8 mana. So, of course, we have a Soul Ring, Mana Vault, Lotus Petal, Worn Power Stone, the Lotus Bloom. I count the Voltaic Key as a mana rock because you're more than likely going to untap another, another rock like the Hedron or the Lotus. Mind Stone, Seer's Lantern, Unstable Obelisk can also double as some removal. Sisay's Ring, the Urgolem's Eye, the Archive, Cold Steel Heart, Felwar Stone, Marble Diamond, Pearl Medallion, Gauntlet of Power to double up those planes, and then a late edition was Coveted Jewel. Now, I honestly, when I saw Coveted Jewel in C18, I hated it. But in this deck, with I have 30 board wipes, sure, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, because odds are, those conditions are not going to get met. And it does draw 3 cards for 6 mana. For 1 more mana than the Gilded Lotus, I get 3 cards. So, let's get to the Blow Up the World spells. Because the reason why I went that route is because, well, it doesn't affect us. Because Avacyn makes her and all our stuff indestructible. So, hey, let's blow up everything. We got Sunscour. Now, this is, as I said, an old deck, and I've, through the years, come across foils here and there. So there's my, there's quite a bit of a foil concentration in this deck. Sunscour, Martial Coup. I'm not going like super in depth on these because they're all pretty much, board wipes of some sort. The Rebirth, man, I love that route. That is a gorgeous route. Purify, Planar Outburst, Scour Glass, Soul Scour, Kurtar. Divine Reckoning is about perfect. It's not per se a board wipe, but Destroy. Destroy is the key thing here. That's what we're looking for. Planar Collapse, love this one. City of Brass, Mass Calcify. Did I say did I call Wrath of God City of Brass? Huh. Day of Judgment, Chroma's Vengeance, Hour of Revelation just got added this time, as well as Citywide Bust, Planar Cleansing, O-Stone, the Sunblast Angel, because more than likely it's not going to be a true board wipe, but it is pretty close to one. Now, Patrician Scorn is, a board wipe for enchantments, which still doesn't matter because our enchantments, the few that we're going to have, are still going to be indestructible. And now enchantments are a huge thing. Wave of Reckoning, while not per se a board wipe itself, it is, it kills everything that's square statted. Now, I've got 3 left because indestructible is a thing. Darksteel Forge exists, and a lot of cards to make your team indestructible, and that's why I've got 3 little panic buttons here that actually do affect Avacyn. The Final Judgment, the Terminus, and the Hollowed Burial. Because sometimes, I mean, you got to kill the board. Now, there are 3 that you haven't seen yet. Catastrophe. Played responsibly, Catastrophe is an okay card. But when it's not played responsibly, you've got Armageddon. Now, typically, when you have Avacyn out and you cast an Armageddon, you shuffle up and start the next game. It is, I mean, even as the player playing it, it feels terrible. What feels more terrible than Armageddon is let's put the World Slayer on Avacyn. Because that way, when Avacyn hits, it destroys everything, but none of our stuff gets destroyed. I played this deck, I don't know, a month or 2 ago, and, I cast World Slayer, and any response? No? Okay. Move to equip World Slayer? Any response? No? Okay. Attack step. And you attack the person, of course, that doesn't have any blockers. And he's like, oh, well, yeah. And he scooped everything but his lands. I was like, no, man. Read World Slayer. And he just looked, he read it, and he looked at me, and he went, man, that's dirty. And it is dirty wrong. Because unless they have 1 mana answers, the game's over. And 1 mana answers do exist. There's Path, there's Swords. And for that reason right there, that's why we're running the Greaves, the Boots, and the Cloak. Also, Brave the Elements to give it pro color until end of turn. Glad the full art cards are coming back. Enlightened Tutor is going to go find our World Slayer, more than likely. I guess it could find any of these equipment. I've got the Sword of Vengeance in there, although I'm not 100% on it. I think I might take the sword out for a Loxodon because the +3... Okay, Avacyn's 8. She's already a member of the 3-hit club. So it takes 3 hits for her to eliminate somebody from commander damage. And the sword doesn't take any of those turns away. The sword says, well, now she's 10. She still takes 3 hits. So, but the +1, like the Sword of Caldera, that pumps her up into 2 hit, as well as the grappling hook does. And last non-land card, of course, is Unquestioned Authority to make it where she can't be blocked. Now, Rogue's Passage also does that. And our last card, Maze of Ith. And yeah. By the way, a lot of Mazes of Ith look like this. This condition is absolutely horrible, but you know what? It still does Maze of Ith things. And Maze of Ith was a very popular card even back then. It's not like one that we just found, Maze of This always been good. It's always been popular. It's always been played. And, sleeves were not really a thing back then. So if you've got yourself a mint dark Maze of It, you got something there. And of course, the rest of it is, of course, John Avon Full Art Planes. Because, this is one of the most beautiful I say one of the most beautiful planes. All of the John Avon Full Arts are the most beautiful planes, regardless of what they are. So that is what I have got for this deck. As I said, it's an old one, but it was time to reshoot it, and here we are. I do appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. But I think right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.